Welcome back to another episode of All in Martin, the Martin County School District's monthly podcast. I'm your host, Kirsty Germain, and today we are diving into everything about enrollment because if you haven't heard, enrollment is open for the 25-26 school year for the Martin County District, no matter where you live. Today we have some special guests joining us. Right now we have Dr. Tracey Miller, our Deputy Superintendent of Schools for the Martin County School District, who knows everything about enrollment in our district right now. And then later we'll have students who have chosen to attend the schools that they're currently at, so they know about this process firsthand. So we're going to kick it off with Dr. Miller. Thank you so much for joining us today to talk about this.
Absolutely.
So I know, like I said, you know all things enrollment. I guess let's just start with that. What is open enrollment?
So open enrollment is an opportunity for all families, students who live in Martin County and in other counties in Florida, to have an opportunity to apply to go to school right here in Martin County.
And I know, so we are focusing obviously on the 25-26 school year. When we're talking about any student, we're talking about from any county, anywhere in the state of Florida.
Absolutely. We are talking about opportunities for students who live anywhere in Florida, whether they're here at home in Martin County or whether they're in a neighboring district, or even someone who lives somewhere inside the state of Florida who would like to attend our Martin County schools. Families have the opportunity beginning March 1st of this school year, or of this year, to submit an application for their child to attend Martin County schools beginning next year in August 2025. And we have a window of opportunity for enrollment from March 1st to March 31st, and then beginning April 1st, we will start sifting through and looking at all of those applicants who are interested in coming to Martin County schools and begin letting families know where we have seats available and who has been accepted to come to our schools. And then after that, families who enroll after that time will be able to continue to apply to our schools, and if there are seats available, we will be able to offer seats at that time.
We've been talking about open enrollment for the Martin County School District, but what that essentially means is if I live in Martin County School District, I can either choose to go to my home zone school, or I can choose to go to a school outside of my zone. And then on the other end of that is if you don't live in Martin County, then you can choose to go to one of the schools within Martin County. martinschools.org is our main website where you can find this information, but essentially the application itself is in the Focus Parent Portal. So
Yes.
Talk about the steps.
Sure. So if your child is already enrolled in Martin County School District, you would just need to go into the Focus Parent Portal to click on your student's name and then find the fall enrollment application. And that is where you would apply to ask for your child to attend a school other than the home zone school. Very easy. Parents are already familiar with the Focus Parent Portal, and so you can simply click on your child's name and choose that link and follow that to be able to complete the application. However, if you're new to Martin County, we welcome you into our school district, and in doing so, you can go to martinschools.org and click on the link to go ahead and fill out the Focus Parent Portal, get a Focus Parent Portal, and be able to complete the application that way.
Okay, and for those new to Martin County School District, that link and the first part of it would be the pre-registration for enrollment in Focus, because that kind of helps you get your Focus account.
Yes.
And then the steps would be the same. You look for your child's name, look for that fall enrollment application for 25-26.
Absolutely.
Two other important details that we should also mention. So first, if you are accepted to the school of your choice, your child can then attend that school through the rest of the grade levels.
Yes, absolutely, and that's a definite benefit. So once your child is accepted into one of our Martin County schools, he or she can attend for the entire duration of that school band. So in other words, if they're accepted in elementary school, they can attend all the way through to 5th grade without reapplying each year. If they're accepted in middle school, they can attend through 8th grade, and in high school, they can attend through graduation.
Okay. What, in your opinion, what's the thing that you really want parents to know about school, being able to choose a school for open enrollment right now?
So parent choice is very important to us. We believe that throughout our school district, we have opportunities for kids no matter what their interests are. We have amazing athletics, we have amazing academics, we have specialty programs and pathways. And of course, with all of those options, we can't have them all available at every school. And so each school has some unique opportunities for parents and students to be able to take advantage of. So that's why this parent choice is so important to us, to be able to make sure that we can fit the needs of each student and match them to a school. So as a parent, you have the opportunity to take a look at what we have to offer at each of our schools and make the decision that's best for your student.
Okay, we're going to my favorite section now, and we're going to bust some myths that we've seen on social media or parents, like those frequently asked questions that parents want to know. So you just mentioned one of them, overcrowding.
So our schools are not overcrowded. We have capacity, as I mentioned, in each school, although limited in several of them. We are able to offer on a case-by-case basis. So while we may have seats available in first grade at a school, we may have it more limited in second grade, for example. So we look at it by individual request and individual student and make sure that we don't overload our schools. So we are just making sure that we are filling seats that are available. And if families want to attend, we want to make that available. So that is something we definitely monitor, and that's why as students may move and seats open up, a parent may get a call during the school year that a seat has opened up, and at that time they can make a decision as to whether or not they would like to accept the seat at that time. And right now, of course, getting ready for next school year, that opens up in August, we are making sure that we have enough seats, enough teachers, enough space at every school. So we will be going through that process again beginning April 1st, and then parents will start receiving notification that they've been accepted at a particular school. And we really encourage parents for you to accept or reject those opportunities once you're notified that your application has been accepted. The faster that you can respond to us and say, yes, we want to go to that school, the faster your child will be able to be enrolled. And if your child is currently enrolled at a different Martin County school, that registration, that transfer will happen automatically once the parent presses the accept button. And if you are coming from an out of Martin County school, then that transfer will take place with the help of our great registrars in our schools, and we will get you registered.
So we mentioned that you can choose your top 3 choices. I'm curious, if you choose, say, Bessie Creek as your top choice and that one's not available, do you automatically get notified that, hey, Citrus, your second choice, whatever that may be, is available, like you can accept that one?
That's a great question. Yes, absolutely. We would let you know where there is space available. So when you apply, if your first choice is not available, we'll let you know that your second choice is available, and at that time you can choose to accept or not accept that opportunity.
Another big question that people have, so funding. If we're accepting students from St. Lucie County, are they using our funds that our taxpayers pay?
That's a really good question. So in the state of Florida, schools are funded through the Florida Education Finance Program through a formula called FTE. It stands for full-time equivalent, and it just means a student attending our schools full-time. And so through the Florida Education Finance Program, the Martin County School District receives funding for each and every student who attends, regardless of where they live. So that money actually comes through that finance program through the state of Florida.
Okay, so if a student from St. Lucie County comes to Martin County, we would be giving their allotted amount.
Correct.
To Martin County.
In other words, the money would come with the child to Martin County, and then here in Martin County, we would receive that funding. So the same way we would receive it for our in-county students, we would also receive it from the Florida Education Finance Program for students out of county.
I really think that's all the questions that we have. I think we nailed the process, the schools that are open, how the funding works, the fact that we are open if you want to have your child attend one of our schools for enrollment for the 25-26 school year. Any final notes about open enrollment here?
I'm just excited that you're going to hear from some of our amazing students who have taken this opportunity to choose a school other than their home zone school or other than the one that they would be going to in another district. As I mentioned, our schools have amazing programs. Our teachers are phenomenal. The support staff, we have amazing buildings that are so well kept, and the students really appreciate being in a safe, nurturing environment surrounded by people who really care about them. So we have curriculum programs, sports, clubs, activities, everything that students would want and need to have a successful experience here in our school district. And so we just really encourage those families who are looking for something amazing for their children to come join us and be part of our success.
Our entire school district is top rated. We provide the best education. So no matter where you go into our school district, you're going to get the best education. Your child's going to get the best education.
Agreed.
Yeah. Also, if you need any assistance applying for enrollment, please call the Office of Innovation and Choice at 772-219-1200, extension 30411. Or you can reach out via Let's Talk on martinschools.org. Again, that phone number is 772-219-1200, extension 30411. All right, well, thank you so much for joining us
welcome.
today.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.
Appreciate it.
I appreciate it because, like I said, you know all things enrollment, so you're the best person to talk to about this. And for our viewers and listeners, stay tuned. After a very brief transition, we are going to talk to those two students who were able to choose what school they wanted to attend to. So stay tuned. Welcome back. After that brief transition, we now have two students joining us today. We have Amira Meehan, a senior at South Fork High School, and then we have Alexis Pankhurst. She's an 8th grader at Stewart Middle School. So they're going to be able to talk about their experiences, why they chose that school, because both of these students did choose the school that they're attending. They're not zoned for those schools. So I guess first of all, thank you guys for joining us today. I really appreciate it. Who wants to start on why you chose to go to the school you're at?
We'll have the middle schooler go first.
Okay, middle schooler goes first.
I chose to go to SMS because of mostly my friends, but also because of like the community and just like they have a lot of clubs that I like, the courses that I take.
So the reason I went from Stewart Middle School to South Fork, even though it is 40 minutes away, and mind you, the drive, if I leave a certain time, becomes 1 hour. The reason why I went that far for South Fork High School is mostly because of the IB program initially. And what compelled me to the IB program is I started thinking about what JFK said when we landed on the moon. And he said that we didn't do these things because they're easy, but because they are hard. And for the longest time, I took those words for granted. I'm like, oh, okay. But then when I really thought about what it meant making decisions because they're difficult, because the difficult decisions are what help you grow. It's what challenges you to move to a different place. It's what challenges you to become something better than what you were when you made the decision. And so I took the risk. I left all my friends because they all went to Jensen. And when I went to IB, my mind was completely transformed, and that's why I stuck there, because for 1 year we were going to try it out, and then if I didn't like it, I would go to Jensen. And I found a beautiful people there, wonderful people, and I made a lot of really good friends, and the teachers there they're the gold standard of teaching, really. They're not just teachers, they're everything. They're mentors, they're like family. They're also friends too, and they're brilliant, brilliant minds, a lot of them. I don't even know why they're at South Fork, because they have these credentials and their abilities go way beyond South Fork. The only reason they're there is because they care about the students, and that's one of the best things about South Fork, is that they care about the students. And the IB program, what makes it wonderful is it's something that's internationally renowned, and it should be, because it's a whole new way of thinking, a whole new way of learning that takes you beyond the system. So I was someone who didn't really like middle school, the educational part of it. I didn't like the system. I didn't like how normal things are done. And IB really took me out of there and helped me grow in a different way, and in a way that I believe really shaped me into the person I am now and will help me prepare me better for my life in the future.
That's something that's special with Martin County in general, is because we are a smaller county, the teachers get to really know their students. So that's definitely a benefit. So now let's talk about, obviously, there are reasons, like you mentioned already, why you chose the schools that you're going to. Alexis, I know I've heard that you are in a lot of extracurriculars too. So talk about what programs and things at Stewart Middle School that you like so much.
So some of my favorite things are the chorus program, a lot of the sports. I was on the soccer team in 7th grade. We won districts, and I did volleyball. I'm in NJHS, I'm an officer in that. I'm in student council. I'm vice president for that. I'm in the debate club. So I like to get involved.
It's good to get involved. You're
Yeah.
not just there doing your regular academics, you're learning more
Yeah.
outside of that.
And it just keeps you busy.
Amira, do you do anything else besides IB?
I'm president of 6 clubs, but here's a dealio. This is what makes this unique. With South Fork, when I first started, there was a limited amount of extracurriculars compared to other schools. What's great about South Fork is because it's such a supportive staff, and it's small, and you can network very easily. It's very, very efficient and very easy to make your own club, and a lot of kids do that. This year, I think the sophomore class, oh my God, there was like 10 new clubs or 15 new clubs this year. And so with me, I started the first Martin County Model UN at South Fork. There was a club that was started by one of my predecessors a year before me, Business for Change, that I'm president of now. There's a lot of youth and government involvement in South Fork, and I'm president of the Treasure Coast chapter for that.
What's been your favorite at Stewart? Out of all the ones that you said, what's your favorite?
I would say debate because I had a very big fear of public speaking like in elementary school. But when I took like that class and that club, it helped me so much that like I'm willingly putting myself in situations like this right now. But like when I was in elementary school, I could not do it for the life of me. I would avoid it like the plague.
So if I went to your elementary school and I asked you to go on camera for me, you'd be like, no.
I would run out of the room.
Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. I love that you're comfortable enough to be on here, both of you guys. I do really appreciate it. What's something that you want parents to know or future students to know going into middle school that you wish you would have known?
Don't stress yourself out too much. Like, obviously, I know it's not high school yet where there's gonna be like AP classes, like hard things like dual enrollment and stuff, but don't take too many classes that you don't think you can like actually excel in, because grades, even though it's still in middle school, it still matters for classes in high school. So you want to be able to like do well in those so then you can do the classes you want to in high school.
I like that. That's good advice. What about for you, Amir? For people going into high school and not sure what to expect.
I'd say don't be afraid to get out of your comfort zone because you won't regret it later. And another thing, don't do anything just for college. Never do anything just for the sake of it's going to look good on my application. Do it because you really want to do it. Do it because you're really passionate about it, because all the things, and I am guilty of doing some things because it would look good for college. But when I started doing those applications and going through all that process, I realized that the things that I did that I didn't even consider would look good in college is the things that I did in my free time, like radio, for instance. Those types of passion projects were the things that really made me a strong applicant and made me really realize where my strengths were and make me find what I really wanted to do in life. And so I would never do anything that you're not passionate about. If you don't have any passion for it, there's no point in going through with it. It will just be a sunk cost fallacy at that point. So I think do what really makes you happy, do what challenges you, do what makes you think more, do what makes you keep you on your feet, something that keeps you engaged.
Awesome. So don't overextend yourself, but do find something that you're passionate about and still challenge yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else about like middle school or high school that you think parents or students should know?
It's a hard adjustment from elementary school, at least like the middle school to, or the elementary school to middle school, because like you never really know what to expect. It's like elementary school, it's like fun, like just fun all around, but middle school, like it can get pretty rough sometimes. So just prepare yourself for that.
I'd say, especially if you're going into high school, you should start thinking about what you liked and what you didn't like about your education from the beginning to the point that you're in. And once you figure out that, then you can kind of figure out what you want to do in high school, because these 4 years are critical in finding the foundation, or laying the foundation, if you will, for life as an adult at the beginning, as a young adult. And so I would definitely be very critical about all the programs that you see. Think about how the implications that they have in your life, and especially what she said, it is an adjustment. It's a big adjustment, especially if you're going into an accelerated program, something like IB especially, or AP. So it's definitely something that you can't just make on a whim. You should definitely think about it, and I think the best way to move forward is to try to be true to yourself, and as a kid, you should figure out who you are and know what you liked and what you didn't like, and try to find the program or find the track that'll give you what you need and improve upon what happened before that didn't get you what you needed.
Awesome. I think you guys have great advice for incoming middle schoolers and high schoolers as well. When we're talking about future, right? Obviously, you're doing all this to prepare for your future. So 8th grade, going into 9th grade, do you know what school you want to go to yet?
I want to go to Jensen, mainly because of all the AP classes. I want to do dual enrollment and like the sports and like all the clubs.
Since you are a senior, what do you want to do? I know you haven't decided where yet, but what do you want to do?
I definitely want to go into law eventually, law school. But first, for undergrad, I'd like to go into political science, or PP, which is philosophy, politics, and economics, is an interdisciplinary degree type thing, because I'm very interested in that type of stuff. And in my free time, I'm all like doing research and stuff like that. So that's my passion. And I really want to understand human nature and its impact, like the human impact on politics and economics, because these are systems that were developed by people, and they're flawed just as their creators were flawed, the people. And so I'd like to see how we as people, as we develop, how our desires change, and how the systems that we create and submit ourselves to change because of that as well. So I'm very interested in that type of stuff.
Do you have any idea? Because I know thinking about high school, you kind of have to think of the next step after, so you do find the right program in high school.
I've been changing my mind a lot. I've wanted to go into psychology. I've skipped around to so many things. I know for sure I want to go somewhere in like a medical field. I just don't know exactly where yet.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Now, I just have pretty much like one more question for both of you, and this is to round out the overall topic that we've been discussing, which is school choice, open enrollment, choosing what school you get to go to. Why should families take advantage of that opportunity?
I think they should take advantage of the opportunity because there's things that like you can get in this district that may not be, like you can't really get it in other districts. Like I don't know exactly what St. Lucie has, but I know that's like from people, it's like people talking, I've heard that our schools sound way better than theirs. Not to knock St. Lucie, but there's definitely pros.
I don't know much about other districts, but I do know about other countries. So I went to an international internship at Oxford University in the UK, and other kids were talking about, they were all IB. So they were all talking about their IB, and I'm talking about Martin County, South Fork IB. And those other kids, I am so fortunate to be in this little part of the world, because in South Fork IB, our teachers support us way more than those kids feel. We feel way more supported than those kids feel supported. They were panicking way more than I was. So I think that speaks, these kids are from the Middle East, Europe, some of them Southeast Asia, Indonesia, the Philippines, everywhere. And they weren't as supported as I felt in this little county, in this little state, in another hemisphere. So I think that says a lot about Martin County off the bat. But I think this message is going to go straight to the families. So I think the best way moving forward as a family when making a decision is, yes, the system is great, but at the end of the day, every kid is different. And I think that it's very important that you connect with your kids and learn about what they're interested in or why they're uninterested in certain things and really understand them. Because if they have no desire if they have no appreciation, if they have no drive for the system that you're going to put them into, the system won't give them anything. The system can only give what the kids take out of it willingly. So if your student or a kid doesn't feel interested in taking out certain things from the system, no matter how fruity the buffet is, there's going to be no food going in their stomachs if they don't eat. So I think that's the most important thing going forward, is to really understand your kids and what's best for them and what they want.
And I do love what both of you guys are saying, because choosing the best school, like all of our schools are offering something unique that can fit what you want or what you want. So you can take a look at all of our different schools and they're going to offer something that you want for your child or what your student wants to pursue as they start looking into careers or what their future looks like. So I really appreciate both of you guys for joining me today and talking about your schools. Both of you clearly have a lot of school pride, so thank you for sharing that with us. And I just want to remind everyone that open enrollment started March 1st, and if you get your application in before March 31st, you have a higher priority to get that school that you really want your child to go to. The applications are in our Focus Parent Portal. You'll find it under the student's name under Fall Enrollment Application. And thank you all for joining in on this episode of All in Martin. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. And in the meantime, you can find us wherever you scroll.